While I think of it, to give you an idea, the boat it's on is a 4.6 meter plate boat. It's got a 50 horsepower 2-stroke engine on the back. It's probably all you need to know to give you a bit of a guideline. But I'm going to do a hard turn to the left and then a hard turn to the right, and we'll see what it looks like. So remember, the hydrofoil's not on now. So there was a hard turn to the left and a hard turn to the right, and you could see it cavitate, which means the prop comes out of the water when you turn too sharp and it just gets the air. When I put the hydrofoil on, it should make a difference, so it shouldn't do that as easily, but we'll see. We'll see what it gets speed-wise. Canopy down. 7 knots. 'Once it's up on the plane, it's not too bad, but again, right this second, there's almost no wind. And what I can notice, you may not be able to notice with the speed, but what I can notice is the engine is revving a whole lot harder in order to get it up on the plane with the canopy up. Trim sensitivity. So right now, well, as I said before, right now, I don't do any trim other than all the way down. Because if I don't have it all the way down, the nose doesn't go down. So right now with the cavitation plate off, ever since I've bought the boat, I drive everywhere fully trimmed in because I don't have too much option. Anything else tips the nose up. So we'll go back, put the hydrofoil on and see if it makes any difference. Now we'll put it back on and do it all again. So we have it on now. We'll go and do it all again. It's just starting to rain. What a nuisance. The hydrofoil, the cavitation plate on my engine, when you add a hydrofoil of this kind, this is an Ozhydrofoil, it increases the size of the engine's cavitation plate by 4 times. So it should make a difference. I don't know how much, but we'll find out in just a second. So we'll do a full lock turn to the left and then a full lock turn to the right and see if it cavitates like when there was no hydrofoil on the engine. That was also heaps better, heaps better. It did it a real little bit right at the end when I was at full lock, where beforehand it did it almost straight away. So it's a huge improvement. So beforehand I backed off the power. I got up on the plane at about 22 knots and then I backed off and I could stay on the plane at about 22. Other than that, it would just drop straight off and bog back down as I slowed down. All right, let's try that. So 5 knots, 10, 15, the nose is up. We'll see when the nose drops back down. It's starting to drop there, 17. I'm up on the plane at 17 knots, when beforehand it was 22. That's amazingly different. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 5 knots sooner I can get up on the plane. We'll see if I can stay on the plane. Before I couldn't really stay on it. I've probably dropped off it now at about 15. I'll pick up again. Yeah, back on it at 17. 17 knots, 17 or 18 compared to 22. That's amazingly different. 17 to 18 knots up on the plane compared to before where it was 22. Unbelievable. I've still got it trimmed all the way down, but I reckon I probably don't need to, but it just is out of habit, but that's where it is at the moment. I'll fiddle with that in a minute, see what happens when I adjust the trim. We'll put the canopy up and we'll try again. So when I did this before, it was about the same speed, which was 22 knots, but it felt like the engine was revving a way lot harder in order to get me up there. So we'll see what difference it makes here. I'm very impressed. I'm so happy with it. I'm a little bit shocked, to be honest. One of my friends, he works at he's a marine mechanic, outboard mechanic, and he said it will make a big difference, but you don't know until you try it. So we'll go back up. Canopy's good now that it's raining. So remember before the canopy and the boat would just tip right up and the wind would catch under the canopy. So it was really hard to get up on the plane. It was a real struggle. You could really feel it working the engine. Anyway, we'll try this. So 10 knots. 16 or 17 with the canopy up, I can stay on the plane. It was about 22 or I can't remember what I said now, but it got up on the plane better and it would stay on the plane longer as I dropped the revs down with the canopy up, where beforehand it was just it would really rev hard to get it up and in the moment I drop the revs, it'll just instantly drop off the plane. So again, it's much better, this back thing. So it's heaps better. It's such a good thing. I'm really impressed. It was the and the cavitation is the thing I'm most surprised about. I'll try and do a cavitation again from here. So we just turn full lock to the right. I didn't even do it then. Didn't cavitation at all. I go a little bit faster. Then to the left. It's heaps better. It's heaps better. I'll go to the right again. So I can still get it to do it if I try, but it is heaps better. It's unbelievably noticeably better. So I'm very happy with that. Very happy. It's a huge improvement. So they're supposed to, having a hydrofoil is supposed to increase your fuel economy. It's supposed to be safer in rough water because you have more control over your trim. It's supposed to reduce cavitation, which is the air is your corner. Really good. Easy to put on. I do have an installation video if you want to go back through the channel, and you'll be able to see that. It's easy to put on. The instructions are very basic. Really good. Oh, I'm really impressed. I forgot to mention how sensitive the trim is now. I've just been playing around with that and realised I didn't mention that. So the trim is hugely sensitive now, as you would expect. Before, not much happened when I trimmed the boat. It was either all the way down was the best I could get, and all the way up, well, not all the way up, you know, you adjust it up and it was just weird. It just handled really weird. So before I just drove it only with the trim all the way down. And now the nose goes up and down without getting off the plane too much. It just, well, you can see it adjust. Where before it would adjust and just instantly drop off the plane. Now it adjusts and stays on the plane. The nose goes up and down. So it's heaps better. It's really, really good. Oh, I'm amazed. Everyone says they're a real improvement, and I'm just amazed how good they are. So as I said, this one, Ozhydrofoil. Man, it's so good. I'm looking at it now and God, it's a very handsome piece of engineering. All right, I'll stop playing around now. I'll go back, otherwise I will get rained on again. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.